Hi again, friends. Joe here. It's the end of the month, so that means some new characters to look at. We do have the anniversary event currently in its first part, is because it's going to be multiple parts. I think it's 3 parts. But we know that we're getting Granblue today. Don't know what else. They haven't really. There was nothing really teased in this first part of the event. But it is running until, like, March 21st, so I'd imagine we'd probably get something relevant in Flashfest rather, next month. But, don't know what else we're getting, but let's see. 3 things, cool. So, we have Luwoh, who's grand, we know that. In light, obviously. Fist, okay. Okay. Wasn't expecting her to show up playable quite so soon. Her summon that came out was relatively recently, I think. I say that it's probably like a year ago. Honestly, my sense of time is just completely messed up. But it feels like she's fairly new in this game still. But that's cool to see her playable. And then, oh yeah, Fedial Summon, yeah, of course, I was forgetting about that. So, okay, just 2 new characters. But anyway, let's take a quick look at some weapons. So, Fire Staff, Crest on Ogi, Small Majesty and Skill Cap. And that's no FLB, so that's kind of whatever. But new light grand weapon, which is a fist. Okay. Based on their max heat, that's the same as Wamdis's one. Which, if I remember right, to get the most out of that, you need like 80k HP, I think. Not sure about this. Like, light isn't like super about stacking HP. I mean, you can get decent HP in light, but it's not really what you're going for mostly, especially in like light burst like stuff. You wouldn't be stacking HP there. Like the light magna gets okay HP if you're using swords, but you're probably not enough to really maximize this. But I'm not sure what other like HP weapons light uses in primal, if any. Like, obviously, the Resonator style weapons are good, but I think thus far Wamdis's one was probably the least good, just because of the HP requirement. And yeah, I mean, I'm not a theory crafter. I'm not super knowledgeable about that aspect of the game, so. But my initial reaction is that that's probably not the condition that you wanted for Resonator and light, because I feel like it's going to be difficult to. I feel like getting enough HP to really get the most out of this weapon, as well as having all the other stuff that you want in light just for damage, is possibly going to be difficult. But like I said, I'm not a theory crafter, so I will leave that to people much smarter than I am. But let's check out some kits. Let's look at Hekate first. I'm going to assume some nuke stuff, because that's what her summon does. It just gives you a passive nuke every few turns, if I mind right. And her Ogi is massive fire damage to a full Hellfire Crest to her, and 1 turn cut the skill cooldowns. So, but she's a crest character, so Ooh, nice. 8 hit fire damage to random foes. Hit to all foes attack and defense tankable, and Hellfire Crest to caster. 8 hits, that's nice. Fire damage to a foe, Hellfire Crest to all allies. Random buff. Additional buffs based on number of casters' Hellfire Crests upon cast. That's cool. So we have Stamina, Revitalize, Wind Cut, Deal of Success, and Veil. Cool. Nothing too crazy, but you know, that's fine. Hekate Is her name like Hekate or Hekate? I've just always assumed Hekate because of Japanese pronunciation. But I'm going to assume this is similar to her summon. Deals damage to foe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's exactly the same as her summon. Her summon might be every other turn or two. I don't know. I would need to check up on that, but that's basically the same as her summon. Every 3 turns, 700% fire damage to all foes and charmed effect. Wait, is that in addition to this? You get 2 nukes every 3 turns? That's pretty cool, if so. Oh. And second support summon. Gain these effects in order based on number of Hellfire Crests. Boost to attack, boost to defense, deal multi-attacks, boost to skill damage cap, and activate Moonlight Blaze, which was her skill 1. Nice, upon taking damage. Nice. Okay, so she gets a crest on Ogi, she gets a crest from this, she gets a crest from this, so she can get crest, she can get this up pretty quickly. Especially if you're using... What was the crest summon fire? Surtur, I think it was? Yeah, she seems pretty good. I mean, obviously, numbers aren't up for this, but possibly some, like, nice, just, some nice support utility for your team. Some stamina, some little bit of healing, and some wind cut. Uptime isn't super great on this. This is like, I'm going to say, this is probably going to be either, I'm assuming 7 turns when this gets leveled up. So, it's like 4 turns downtime for this, but I'm assuming you just get all of these based on your crests. You get it's a random buff and then additional buffs based on the number of casters' Hellfire Crests. So, she has the potential to just put out quite a lot of damage because... Assuming that these 2 stack, which I'm assuming they do, because why would they make this a separate support skill when she already has this as a skill effect? That doesn't make any sense, so presume these must stack, so that's 2 nukes every 3 turns. Plus, she can activate this every time she gets hit, which is 8 hits. Which, Fire has, micro axes and stuff now, so lots of supplemental damage, so that's going to be just potentially a lot of damage that adds up. So yeah, super simple kit, but not too bad. Seems like she'd be fun to use. Like, she doesn't seem like she needs much in the way of like actual support to get her crests up, because she gets one on Ogi, she gets 1 from each of these. You're not going to get straight to 5 crests super quickly, but it's not going to take too long to get her, especially if you're using, like I say, if you're using Kengo. Kengo Gaming, always winning, can get this up more often. Plus, skill cooldowns, cuts as well are going to do well. Yeah, I think this is the main stuff, is getting actual numbers on... I mean, obviously we have enough stuff for this. Like, is this... no, that's fine, yeah, that is just a straight up veil. So obviously, what the stamina buff is and what the healing is on this is the main thing. Stamina mainly, if this is a decent stamina buff, and yeah, that's pretty cool, and it's not super strong utility, but still nice to have. It means that she does provide something other than just straight up skill damage. And plus, if she's Ogiing as well, that's going to bring the actual downtime as well. I did say this was 4 turns downtime, but that's assuming that you don't Ogi at all. Assuming this is 7 turns when she level her up, but yeah, she seems just, yeah, skill damage. Skill damage for days. But here we are, Grand Luwoh in light. I'm going to assume, similar to Fediel, his skill 3 is going to be a field effect. Because in the dragon fights, Luwoh and Ferial are the only ones that had field effects in the fights, and Ferial thus far is the only dragon that has a field effect in her kit, so presumably he will have a field effect that does probably some kind of like healing, similar to the dragon fight, but anyway. His Oki is massive light damage to foe, and when Aureole of Life is in effect, bonus plane damage. Okay, cool. Skill 1, Prayer of Imminent Light effect to light allies with at least 40% HP. While in effect, boost to attack and critical hit rate, revitalize effect, keen effect, ends when HP drops below 40%. 18 turns cooldown. Wow. Skill 2, 6 hit light damage to foe, yay for multi-hits. Hit to attack, stackable. Hit to special attack damage, stackable. Can't be removed, cool. When Aureole of Life is in effect, auto activates upon normal. Ooh, that's also very similar to Fedial. Yes, okay. That's a field effect. Foes attacks boosted, light allies HP is restored every turn. Okay. When Aureole of Life is in effect, boosted light allies debuff resistance, multi-attack rate, and CA specs. Cool. And remove a buff from all foes upon acting a fated chain. Interesting. So that's the bad thing about doing these Legfest videos. When I stay up to 3 AM for the banner to actually change, is that we don't have actual numbers for this stuff. So, like, how big is this attack boost for foes? If it's similar to other field effects, it's probably not going to make too much of a difference. You know, how much is this HP restoration? You know, how much? What is this? How big is this attack boost? What kind of attack boost is it? He doesn't double Ogi like Fedial does when her field effect does, but he does get plane damage on his Ogi. I wonder how much that is. Like, conventional wisdom would say that that's just 1,000,000 minus 1. Maybe they do a bit more. Maybe they do, you know, 3 or 4 million, similar to Transcended Thrail, maybe. It's really hard to judge just without seeing numbers, really, but honestly, he seems pretty good. Like, my gut is, he seems pretty good. And possibly pretty nice, just for pure sustain, because you're going to get I mean, I say a bunch of healing, I don't know how much healing is. I don't remember what the... Can I look that up, actually? See if I can... What his field effects in his raid... What the field effects healing was, if I can find that. Nope. His raid on the wiki, it mentions that he deploys the field effects, but it doesn't actually give it. And I'm not going to just start a luwoh raid just to see how much it heals, but yeah, so yes, whole team gets healing from that. They also are going to get a bunch of healing from this. And it's Revitalize, which that is the one that gives you charge bar if your HP is full. Crit rate and keen as well. Like skill damage, they have Harmonias, so like he seems pretty good. Like I want him. Like he seems like he'd be pretty handy for just pure sustain. Like I said, hard to tell without getting actual numbers, but yeah. And my only really concern is if there's any if you're in really hard hitting stuff, that you lose this when someone drops below 40%, and that is a pretty big cooldown. And that probably goes to maybe 16 or 15 once he's leveled up, but that's still quite a lot. And he doesn't have anything to reduce that, so but yeah, he seems decent. My initial impression is that he's mostly just for sustain. He does give some buffs, but I don't want to say that he's a super strong. Maybe they are, he is a grand character. So maybe this is just maybe they go crazy. Maybe this is 100% perp attack. But he seems nice just for some buffs and a lot of sustain. And he probably does okay damage as well, because he does the same thing that Feniel does on normal attacks, plus he gets a bunch of plain damage on Ogi. How much that is, who can say, but yeah. plus the extra buffs here when the field effect is up. Like it is, but again, like I keep saying it, but I wish this game would just give more actual numbers on stuff in game. Like light allies debuff resistance. Like is that 100% resistance? Are you just immune to debuffs while this is up? You know, what's the multi-attack rate? Is that guaranteed double attacks, or is it like or is there also like, you know, 20-50% triple attack rate in there as well? Probably not. That would be pretty huge, but you know, what are the CA specs? Like I genuinely don't understand why they don't put more explicit numbers in game like this. It's kind of annoying. But yeah, he seems good. He seems pretty good. Like, I would like to have him. I'm probably not. I'm probably not gonna. I have a spark ready. I'm probably not gonna roll in this manner, unless it turns out he's like super duper strong, that I'm slightly underrating him, and he's like really strong, and you absolutely want to have him for anything that isn't burst. Which honestly, like if I had him, I'd probably use him for that purpose anyway. But there's not a whole lot on Legfest that I'm really needing. You know, like character-wise, I don't have Licia, but she's not that strong these days, and I don't think her weapon is either. Not that I'm planning on going Primal Wind. And I have, except for Poseidon, I have everyone else on Legfest, so yeah, he seems pretty good. Like, wait for numbers, I think, just to see how good he really is. Like, if his healing ability, like with that field effect, and his S1 is like really strong, then he might be worth having for certain fights just for that alone, because I feel like this game just kind of doesn't have an absolutely bonkers healer. Like, there are definitely characters that have strong heals. You know, like MC as like Yatramantis, I think, has a decent healing ability. You have, I think, like Grand EO in like also can do like 6,000 heals as well, which is quite a lot for this game. But there's no like character that's just absolutely crazy in terms of healing numbers. And it would make sense for Luwoh to be that, since, you know, that's like the main gimmick of his raid, is just it heals the boss and your team every turn as well. So, you know, he's possibly just pretty good just for sustain. But until you actually get actual numbers on the rest of these buffs, it's hard to really say. But he definitely seems he's not bad by any means, because, like I said, he has this, which is exactly what Fenio does. He gets extra. He's going to have nice nukes on his Ogi because of extra point damage. Not as great for OTK because it means you have to press this. Fenio is the same as well. She gets double Ogis when her field is up, but it means a button press. So he's probably not going to be super strong for OTK. But if you're at a point where you still need to press buttons for that, you know, maybe if the plane damage is high enough, it could be useful for that. All of the dragons have Fey Chain stuff, extra effects. This could be useful, but this seems kind of tame in the grand scheme of things. You know, like Fenio just gets all of her skill cooldowns removed, like off cooldown rather, reset. That's the word, reset. That's the word I was looking for. When you do a Fey Chain, she just gets her skills reset. You know, Willness gets a big nuke and instant charge. I don't remember what the other ones do, but this feels, I mean, it's fine. Like, a Dispel is nice. This seems fairly tame in comparison to some of them, but, you know, it's still utility. But yeah, I think that's just my main thing. I just want to see what the actual numbers are on this stuff, but with the limited information that Cygames insists on giving us in character pages here, like, he seems pretty strong. Not for burst, obviously. I don't think you'd use him in bursts. I mean, maybe there's a setup where this extra attack and crit rate with Keen. Maybe I highly doubt it though. Like I'm not like this is light. This is the element that has you know, Halloween Florence and Halloween Mugen and Nehan. Like there is 0% chance that he fits into a burst setup here, I think. But if you were missing like quite a few of those pieces, maybe this could slot. I don't know. You know, plus this as well. Activate or not, who can say? If you haven't had given, you know, double strike, 2 of these. Like I said, if you're missing the other stuff for light burst and you're doing just super ghetto light burst, you're not like bar farming or anything, you know, maybe you could fit him in there. But I think you're mostly going to want to use him just in probably for harder and or longer fights, just because of the sustain that you can presumably dish out. Like I said, hard to really say without numbers, but yeah, he seems pretty good. Jury's out on whether I'm going to roll or not, but it's tempting to just wait until Flash, because we're probably going to get something exciting related to the anniversary event. Who can say who we're going to get there? I mean, Orologia doesn't strike me as the sort of character that would become playable. Like, lore-wise, he's super powerful, sure, but he's also kind of frail in the way that he presents himself, so unless he was like one of those weird like characters who doesn't actually attack but just gives a bunch of buffs, who can say? But then what element would he even be? Who can say? Yeah. Unsure if I'm going to roll on this banner. Maybe I'll YOLO some, because I do have like I think like 60 rolls above a spark. So I can afford to do some rolls, but we'll see what happens. I mean, I did 100 rolls on the Valentine's banner and got both Sen and Sandalf on. Even though they aren't super strong, but it was still nice to get them. But anyway, thanks for watching, and until next time, a couple of weeks, when anniversary event will be in full swing. We should have all 3 parts by the time Legfest comes out, because the events only run until the 21st. And Flash, I keep getting Legfest and Splashfest mixed up, but Flash usually happens around the 18th-ish. So we'll probably have a decent idea of who we will be getting, if they're going to tease anyone. But until then, thanks for watching, and until next time, cheerio.